Pre-statistics. Function problems. Lesson objective. Find the domain, range, minimum, maximum, intercepts, intervals where increasing and decreasing, intervals where positive and negative, and rates of change of a function. Lesson objective. Is this relation a function? Yes, it passes the vertical line test, which means for every x there is one and only one y. Question number 1. What is f of negative 3? So what is f of negative 3 means when x equals a negative 3, what is the y value, or what is f of x? So when x is negative 3, here's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, our y value is 1. So we say f of negative 3 equals 1. What is f of 1? When x is 1, y is 0. So we say f of 1 equals 0. What is f of 2? When x is 2, 1, 2, we have the y value equal to a negative 2. What is the value of x when f of x equals 1? So for this problem, we know that f of x is equal to 1. So this is saying the y value is 1, and we want to know what is the order pair or pairs where y is 1. We need to find those x's. We go to the y-axis and we look for 1. So we see there's 1, 2 x's. This x and this x. So this will be x equals negative 3 and x equals, looks like, a positive 1/2. What is the domain? So this one we have an ending point here. So the domain is going to start at negative 3. Since this is a solid dot, it can equal, so x can equal this number, and all these x values have a spot on this graph till we get to x equals 2. This is a solid dot, so it can equal 2 also. So it's all numbers in between negative 3 to 2. So all these x values from negative 3 to 2. Now we can also use set notation, and we could write this as bracket negative 3 to a positive 2 bracket. What is the range? The range are the possible y values. So we see that this is the smallest y. The largest y is here. So all these y values have a spot on this graph. So we start with the smallest, negative 2. It's a solid circle, so y can equal negative 2. And the maximum is positive 2. The range is from a negative 2 to a positive 2. Now we could also write f of x as opposed to saying y, and we can also do set notation, bracket negative 2 comma to a positive 2 bracket. What is the maximum? So this question is saying what is the maximum y value for this function, and we see it's here. So the maximum value f of x equals 2. What is the minimum? The smallest value for the y, we see that f of x equals negative 2. Where is f of x increasing? So if we start with our endpoint, negative 3, from negative 3 all the way to this point, this has a positive slope. So when you have a positive slope, you are increasing. Now this is decreasing, so to answer this question, all values from a negative 3 to when x is 0. So we say negative 3 to 0, all x values will give us an increasing function. Now, why am I not using equal signs here? Is because at one point, say negative 3, we don't know if this graph is increasing, decreasing, because it's only one point. So we never include equal to signs here when we're talking about increasing and decreasing. Whereas f of x decreasing, so it was increasing here, but then at this point, all the way down to this point, this is a negative slope, and this is decreasing. So we say from 0 to 2. Now if we were to write this in set notation, this would be parentheses 0, comma 2, parentheses, because these are not equal to. Where is f of x positive? So f of x is positive in this quadrant, so all these y values in quadrant 1 and 2 are positive. So from here to here, all these are positive y values. We would say from negative 3 up to this x, which is 1. Now we can say x can equal negative 3 because that's going to be a positive number. It's 1. But when we get here, this is 0, and 0 is neither positive nor negative. So this is just a not equal to sign. In set notation, we would write it bracket negative 3, comma 1, open parenthesis. Where is f of x negative? That's in quadrant 3 and 4. Anything below the x-axis will be negative. So that's from here to here. So we say from 1 to a positive 2. In this case, we know this is a negative 2. So when x is a positive 2, y is a negative 2 is negative. So it equals. But when x is 1, y was 0. So this is not an equal to. So we're saying f of x is negative anything more than positive 1 all the way up to a positive 2. In set notation, we would say parenthesis a 1, comma 2, and then a bracket. What are the x-intercepts? Where there's just 1, that's where it's crossing the x-axis, and that happens at x equals 1. So we could write it this way, or we could say 1 comma 0. The last one, what is the y-intercept? There's always going to be just one y-intercept if it's a function, because for every x there's one and only one y. So we can't have multiple y-intercepts. So where's it crossing the y-axis? It's here. So the y-intercept is at 2. So we can say y equals 2, or f of x equals 2, or we can write the order pair, which is x is 0 and y is 2. Thanks for watching.